Let's unmute, shall we? Happy Friday. It's finally here. Time for a second stream, I think. We'll do a couple of hours tonight. I suppose I'd best introduce myself. I doubt anybody really knows me. I'm Adam, or Adwin. I am start out with streaming Football Manager 23. As I'm just starting out, I've just picked up a save I've been playing at home. Something I started as an unemployed manager, no coaching badges, no reputation, and ended up in the second division of Sweden. From there, we took on Angred BK, where after one season of just holding place in Division 2, just surviving in Division 2, we did manage to win the league and then finished ninth in Division 1, where we took over Oosters. I'm never going to pronounce that correctly. From there, we won Division 1 at the first time of asking, and then straight up again into the Swedish top division, the Allsvenskan. We finished third in our first season there, where Dundee United decided to snap me up. When I took over Dundee, they were in a pretty bad shape, 11th place in the Cinch Premiership, and looking at relegation quite closely. We rescued their season with 15 games to spare and actually got them into fourth, won the Scottish Cup, and found ourselves in the Europa League, in the playoff anyway, which we promptly lost to Sporting. And our season hasn't been great since. We are in the Europa Conference League group phase, but we have lost both of our games there so far, and our league form has been patchy to say the least. We're currently fifth in the Premiership, and I was hoping for a much, much better start, but we are still in touch at the top. European qualification has got to be my aim this year. We managed it last year when we were down here in 11th after 23 games. We still got up to fourth. I think we can go better. I'm pushing for the Champions League. So let's get on away. If you have questions, if you just want to say hi, feel free to put something in the chat and we'll see if we can get a conversation going. Otherwise, you're just going to have to listen to me waffle on. So last stream, we left off, like I say, patchy form. We lost our first Europa Conference League game. We struggled really tough draw against St Mirren at home, which should have been a lot easier. Decided we'd play a confidence friendly during the international break. A nice 9-0 win. Got us going for a win against Rangers at Ibrox, which was absolutely the highlight. Followed promptly by losses at home to Vitesse and Hibernian, and we really struggled to a home win against Wraith Rovers, which we should have done an awful lot better with, given that Wraith have only just come up into the Premiership. So we'll get into tonight's game, see if we can get on and beat St Johnstone on their patch. It can't be that hard, can it? Can it? It will be. We've not found form at all, considering last season's form. When I joined here with the Hibernian game, we lost three. We were losing 3-0 quite quickly, and I thought I was in for an awful ride. And then we just took off. Win, draw, just lots of green. Only one more loss that season, in fact, away to Celtic. It was a battering. It was a 5-1 battering away to Celtic, but we got our revenge by beating them in the Scottish Cup final at Hampden, so no harm done. This season, however, as I say, much different challenge. Hoping that we can find some form, get ourselves up towards the top of the table and start seeing the best of Dundee United. The long-term aim of this stream, of this game, this save, really just to see how many trophies we can win and how many countries we can win it in. No particular end state, but obviously winning the Champions League has got to be up there. I'm looking to avoid managing in England because I always manage in England when I play Football Manager. But if a particularly good job does come up, City, Arsenal, Liverpool, that sort of thing, probably will give that a crack. But I prefer to do all of my trophy winning away from England just to experience something a little bit different. So while we play, do feel free to jump into the chat, say hi, tell me what I'm doing wrong. I'm no master tactician, even though I've been playing this game since I was about 14 or 15. I simply enjoy almost the role play element of it, pretending that I'm a football manager who knows anything about football at all. In real life, I am a Gillingham fan. I'm a Gillingham season ticket holder, in fact. And I go with my entire family, my wife and 3 children, all come down to Priestfield every other week, where fortunes in real life have turned around quite significantly since we were taken over at the end of December. New owners, a very busy January transfer window, and some great form this year, particularly given the previous 18 months were horrendous. I watched us get relegated from League One, going down on the final day while watching Rotherham get promoted at our ground on the same day, which was tough to take. And then just 4 short months ago, pretty much to the day, we were looking at bottom. We were bottom of League Two. We had just 14 points to our name after 23 games, and there was only one way for us to go. Since then, we've managed to pull ourselves up to almost mid-table, cracking form, which, if it were continued throughout the season, would probably see us promoted, potentially even challenging for the title. So I'm hoping for more of that next season. So let's just get through these press conferences. I can't say I paid that much attention to what I'm saying here. Probably should, but the only things that really matter is when you get fined or banned by the FA for calling the referee some choice words. I'll just tell them, yeah, all the good things. So, how's everyone's Friday been? How's your week been? So St Johnstone away feels like it really should be a very winnable game. We have played them twice this season already, unbelievably, in the Scottish League Cup and as our second Premiership game. Laboured to a draw and a win there against St Johnstone came up with Wraith Rovers last season. So definitely a team that we feel we should be beating quite comfortably, but so far nothing has been comfortable. Yeah, let's tell you off about not training well, but praise all of you guys for doing brilliantly in training. And much like in real life, I pretty much just do this to make people like me. I don't know whether it makes much difference when it comes to contract negotiations or playing time concerns, that sort of thing, but I always like to make sure my players are on side. If it means that I can shave a few £100 off of their weekly wage or get away with only making them a squad player when they want to be a regular starter, then it's probably worthwhile. Maybe turning down transfer offers and things like that. But I'm sure it probably makes very little difference. It just makes me feel better. All right, let's clear the squad and see what we've got available for us today. We've had a bit of a run of games recently. What with our European travails, we've had quite a few midweek games followed by weekend games. So the squad is starting to look just a little bit tired. And in last night's stream, we certainly discovered that we are pretty weak when it comes to defending from crosses. Both the fullbacks have not been on the best of form, so we're trying to change things up a little bit here and get other players playing out there, just see if they can stop the crosses coming in the first place. We've also seen a few injuries come in, but our lone player there, Nicky Hadland, who generally was hoping would be a big catalyst for our drive forwards. His star rating has dropped massively since he since he joined the club, which is always the way of Football Manager with scouts, and like to. I think there's a saying, isn't there? Under promise and over deliver. Well, my scouts have the complete opposite motto: over promise, under deliver, and then run away before the boss finds out. So let's get our squad picked and get them training, get them ready even. Let's go. So, first game of the stream, are we looking for a win? Of course we're looking for a win. Are we going to get one? That's down to the football manager gods, that one. Quite often you can be punished for turning off this game. First game of a new session always tends to be a difficult one. Got the easiest possible opponents, I think, aside from Wraith Rovers. But is that going to be enough to get us the win? And it is a derby as well. Oh, this could be a difficult one. Let's see how we go. So St Johnstone set up in a 4-4-2. Have we just got a red card in the first minute of the game? Yes, we've just got a red card in the first minute of the game. That's the football manager punishment. That's the punishment for deciding not to carry on playing until I'd got to this game. Okay, Sheshma is going to have to play out position here, I think. If I remember rightly, your passable was a Mazzala. You can be a defensive deep line playmaker. And let's see how we go. I don't like to drop back any more defensively. I think if we've got the quality in the squad, and I think we do, we should be able to steal a goal, and then we'll just waste time until the end of the game, and I hope that's enough. Okay, our first attack of the game. Out there on the right wing, decent football. Oh, that's crashed against the bar. Well, if anything in Football Manager says your luck's out, nothing does it quite like an early red card and hitting the woodwork. Pretty much hit a highlight where you hit the woodwork pretty much is saying you're not going to win this game, but you're going to look like you should have done. We've slightly had the better of it. We've had most of the possession, but this is where we're going to struggle. They've got numbers going forward. We've got nothing to push them out with. Oh, that's a good save from Trafford. He was a man, that goalkeeper was a man that suffered from, he seems to suffer from just goalkeeper moments. He had an absolutely outstanding performance in our game against Vitesse. I think he got an 8.7 rating, saved 2 penalties, but the goal he gave away was him just jumping over the ball when he could have just stood there and picked it up. But it's okay, they've been fixed. Goalkeepers were fixed. Okay, well, we've kept it to 0-0. Still hopeful that we can go and steal that goal and get ourselves a win that would, would keep us in the top 5. We don't want to be overtaken by Dundee. Let's encourage them. Get forward. Okay, let's make some changes as everyone's having to do a bit more running to cover a stupid red card inside a minute. I will, of course, blame the referee entirely. No way you should be sending off a player that early unless he has absolutely poleaxed him or hit him with a chair or something. It would have to be something out of WWE to see someone sent off in the first minute. But not this ref. Okay. Let's see how that goes. Shashwa's doing okay out of position in central midfield. Not pulling up trees, but he's putting in a shift. Okay. That's not done it. Let's see what we can put up front. Have we got a striker with pace? I mean, Otterson is a striker with pace. And Drucci's fairly similar. Lucy's quite slow. Let's get Andrucci on. See if we can make some difference up there. We'll make a change in central midfield. And have we just scored a goal? We've missed the goal. We've missed the goal. Well, we'll have to have a look at this replay, won't we? I normally concede goals while I'm messing around in the tactics screen. I used to pause it, but decided nothing ever happens in those highlights. Oh, well, there we go. Cujo, our sub. He wasn't a sub, he started. He's normally on the bench. Yes, right. It's time to take time out of the game, slow things down as much as possible, and see if we can hold on for a win. Once again, it's a game I feel we should absolutely dominate, and the stats will tell you we have, but we've not created anything major. We've not created brilliant chances. We've stolen one goal while we're down to 10 men, and that's about all we've been able to hope for this season. Oh, and Andrucci's picked up on a loose bit of defending there and smashes it straight to the goalkeeper. We have a corner. A second one would do the job for us here. Would make me feel a lot more comfortable. Plenty of time being taken over this corner, and rightly so. This sort of thing you hate seeing in football, unless it's your team, and then you're quite happy to watch them while the second's down. Go on, Shashwa. For a team down to 10 men, we do like camping in their box now, don't we? Seems we've turned on the style. Cujo. Oh, he's done it again. That's a cracking shot from outside the box. This is a man with some real talent. He may have to start a few more games for me. He's normally a first choice off the bench, but that's a performance and a half out there. What a strike. What a strike. And that should see us through. Well, there I am bemoaning a laboured win, and yet we've won it fairly comfortably. 2 late goals, but we were definitely the better side despite being down to 10 men for pretty much the entirety. Well done. Well done, those men. Yeah, you can have the ban. It always says it's a bad tackle and the referee's decision was probably justified, but I can't agree that that's justified in the first minute of the game. Well done, Matty Cujo. I don't normally like doing the press conferences. They don't seem very worthwhile to me, but I can't seem to find it in myself to hand it over to the assistant manager. Just can't hand it over because they won't say what I want them to say, but I still don't want to, I don't know what I want to say myself. I just want to get through them. Okay. What have we got next up? Dynamo to Blitzy in the Conference League. They're actually one of the few teams below us in the group stage at the moment, so I'd like to think they're right for the taking. Well, let's see what sort of challenge Blitzy will provide for us. Cards Guinness is back. Key player for us last season. Chipped in with some very valuable goals when I joined the club. Goals that pretty much propelled us up to the fourth. Between him and Frederick Otterson, who I also got on loan last season, they propelled us to a fourth place finish, which meant that we were in Europe and got us a cup win, which got us into the Europa League. Although we did fail at the first hurdle there in the playoff and end up in the Europa Conference League anyway, but without having to go through all the other qualifying stages. Otterson, McGuinness, pretty much the men who took us to the top, towards the top of the league. We haven't been top yet, but maybe one day. That is ultimately the aim. Yep. And the fans all think this is pretty much set up for a home win, which would be nice to get our first win in Europe. Who have we got as a top target recommendation? Well, he's a player, isn't he? Interesting. Plays all down the left wing, but is a natural central midfielder. He's got everything I like, and we have just about got the budget. £1.2 million budget would be enough to get him in. We might be able to do some instalments. Let's add him to the shortlist and let's get him scouted. I think my main priorities at the moment for the January transfer window are going to be on either side of defence. We didn't see it in the last game, thankfully, but we've looked very vulnerable from the wings. And when I've got a 6'4" and a 6'3" centre back, who are both fairly handy in the air, you have to look to the crosses coming in the first place as the problem. Yeah, okay, we'll say that one. Okay, click through another conference and away we go. Oh, more injuries. Well, if I needed any further push to go and sort my fullback position out, it's the loss of one of my two available left backs. I suppose Huggins is a possible cover over there as well, but Huggins was my first choice right back and hasn't really done it for me so far this season. So we are down to one for this game, two for the rest of the year, rest of the calendar year. Hopefully, we can limp through to January where we can make some changes. In fact, to that note, I need to get scouts doing something about this situation. Go and find me some good fullbacks, please. Or injuries and suspensions starting to rack up now. Lots of red here. What have we got coming? Aberdeen, so it's another big game. I think we're going to have to try and rotate a few players out. So we've got our 18-year-old centre-back tired here. Second choice centre-back there. You're going to have to play Mitchell. I don't have any replacements for you. Right, let's kick Cujo on there. Said he deserved a start, didn't he? So let's give him a chance. Shashua put in a shift in the last game in central midfield. So he's deserved another start. But we do have McGuinness back. Okay. Let's get McGuinness playing. He can play a game from the centre. Normally have him as an attacking midfielder, but today he can start there. And got McPherson who can come in at half time. Okay, and then let's just fill the bench with whoever else is actually available. Otterson. Lemecca's really not done it for me recently. Let's make a change. Let's get a start for Jack Vale. He seemed to score a few goals for Dundee before I arrived at the club as a striker. 10 in 30 games, I think he got in the end. It wasn't a terrible performance, but certainly not the 20 goal a season striker that everyone loves to have. And truthfully, I was hoping Otterson would be that man, but he's disappointed so far. He was great for us at the end of last season, but so far, very hit and miss. Okay. So, Tbilisi setting up with 7 defenders, 3 strikers. Oh, that's a horrible formation to see. That's not a real formation. Who plays like that? Unfortunately, when that's on the pitch, it looks brilliant because they seem to be able to defend everything and encounter, but with so many men forward compared to me. Let's see what we can do. Hadland on the left, cross to McGuinness. Oh, and he's back. He is back. Carl McGuinness. What a strike from the edge of the box. That's the man. That's the man who we've needed. He's been injured for the start of this season, and now he's back. And in 12 minutes in, he's doing things like that. We've missed him. Could this really be the kickstart that we needed? Could this get us qualification for the knockout stages? And could it get us close to challenging for a title? We will take him off at half time because I don't want to see him injured again. But that's a very encouraging return. Otterson through for Vale. Jack Vale now. Oh, he's missed a sitter. Missed a sitter there. It's misses like that made me decide he's not really a striker, but he might be able to do a job as an inverted winger on the left-hand side for me. Jury's still out for me. Here is Vale again. Potentially offside, but that's a good ball across to Otterson. And we've hit the bar again. I've never known a team hit the bar as much as this Dundee United side. It's at least one per game. McGuinness just running the show again. But this is when they're so good with that 7-0-3 formation. You see so many teams have at whatever level of the game. Thankfully, the woodwork saves us on this occasion. Okay, a bit of head tennis there, and we've finally got the ball down on the ground. We do play a vertical tick-attacker style because I like to hold on to the ball, but break forward quickly when an opportunity arises. But you can see so many players back here for Tbilisi. Going to be very difficult to break them down. That early goal has helped. I mean, we don't have to force the issue too much. Otterson, though, Shashua, and that's a terrible finish. I reckon that came off of his shin. That's just bobbled towards the goalkeeper when really you want to see the player put their foot through it. Well, we've dominated that. We've created a few decent chances, but just the one goal so far. Let's see if we can get the boys hyped up for the second half. Go get a couple of goals. Make us feel like we belong in this competition. As it stands, we are just inside the qualification spaces with 3 places to go. 3 games to go rather. Let's see what we can do. How did Arsenal get on last night? Does anyone know? Last night, tonight. Gosh, Friday, my brain's gone, and we've just won a penalty. So 3-3 draw. Wow. I saw they were 3-1 down at one point, and even with a draw, you have to feel that Arsenal's title challenges. But it all comes down to that Man City game, doesn't it? Now I can't see Man City dropping points outside of that game. And Arsenal they're wobbling at the very worst time. They've been leading for pretty much the entire season. And I said I would take McGuinness off, but I got distracted. Let's get him off before he hurts himself. And we'll get McLennan off. He's earned a breather, and he's only 18 years old. There's only so much running he can keep doing. But yeah, back to Arsenal. They've led the league pretty much from day one. To throw it away now, it's going to be heartbreaking for their fans. I have a friend who's a season ticket holder at Arsenal. He was there tonight, and it's only in the last few weeks he started to believe. Until they're starting throwing away 2-2 draws for fun, apparently. So I do feel for them, but they've got to just do better, haven't they? But that Man City game in a week will be huge, absolutely huge for them. Or cleared off the line. See quite a few of those sorts of replays. The ball bobbles up and someone manages to run back and clear the ball off the line. And there it is. That seals the deal. That's a big confidence boosting win. This makes me a lot happier. Right, let's make our last couple of subs. VT, haven't really got anyone who can come and rest you, so you're going to have to stay on for me, I'm afraid. Let's get Otterson off. He's done okay up there. Let's give Andrucci a run out up front and see if he can be our goal scorer. Cujo having another storming game. Jack Vale's done quite well, but let's get Remy Lucy on. He can play a role in midfield for us there. The youngster that we signed off Liverpool for a free, and hopefully can grow into a big part of the team. Just trying to give him minutes whenever we can. Initially signed him as a striker, but got quite a lot of those at the moment. And Otterson definitely is the favourite for the starting berth. But with a bit of rotation, he'll probably get a couple of games up front. I'm starting to see him potentially as a midfield option. It's quite versatile through the centre. and that is a great result for us. A game that we absolutely should win and have dominated from start to finish. Maybe could have had another goal. Certainly had opportunities, but that is a big win. Our first win in Europe this season, and I've said it a few times now, but I think it might really kickstart our season, get us going. So up into 23rd there in the Conference League now. 3 games to go. We're just scraping into the qualification places for the first knockout round. That's the board wants us in there. I definitely want us in there, but we've struggled immensely in our first couple of games. Let's see what we've got coming up. So who else have we still got to play? We've got Karabag, which feels like a winnable game, but Newcastle away is going to be awful. But TNS, that's another winnable one. I think if we can get that win away to Karabag and a win at home to TNS and just call the Newcastle game a free hit, that 9 points, will that qualify us in the first top 24? I think it might. That's the aim. 2 wins from the next 3 European games and a bit of money. That certainly helped to fill some of the finances. We did sell our goalkeeper at the end of last season for £8 million, which, as you can see, helped immensely. We were in quite a bit of trouble towards the end of last season. The board did put £4 million in to get us somewhere nearly back in the black. But that sale of our goalkeeper at the end, Kinnear at the end of last season, helped to fund a couple of signings, which I'm hoping will get us challenging for the top 3 or even the top 2 this season. So Europa League or even Champions League qualification. We had some. It is still very much a Rangers and Celtic dominated league, this, but so far this season, Rangers seem to be a little bit off the pace. We are just ahead of them here in the league. So who knows? Maybe this is a season we can break that diarchy and get ourselves into a decent position. So come talk to me. Say hello. How was your week? How have things been for you? I've been working all week as everybody has, and this is a bit of an impromptu stream. I was watching some TV with my wife, but she decided for an early night, so here I am. This is only my second stream, so I'm not good at it yet. I waffle on about completely nonsensical stuff, and I have not much of a filter. So do feel free to come and stop me from talking to myself. Tell me where you're from. Let me know how your week's been. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Tell me what you do with this tactic. It's an old style 4-2-3-1. I don't do the 2 defensive midfielders. I feel that doesn't give me enough. I like the midfielders in the centre there. I think they get between the boxes a lot better, and you can actually have that box to box midfielder instruction, or role, which I find incredibly valuable. And the deep line playmaker and defensive seems to do a lot of the cover work back here. But am I doing it wrong? Are those defensive midfielders the right way to go? Is there a defensive midfielder role that gets one of them forward to support in attacks as much as the box-to-box midfielder? Because I would be quite happy to put a little bit more defensive emphasis on my game. I'm very much an attacking coach. I prefer goals. Goals win games as far as I'm concerned, but it often means I end up losing games 4 or 5 goals. Yeah, that's not the best of defensive strategies, is it? Just go for more goals. Okay, we've got another game against Aberdeen. We did smash them at their own patch at Pittodrie 4-1 in the first game of the season. It'd be great if we can do it again. Yeah. Okay. Do you do your own conferences? Are the press conferences worth doing? Has anyone found an actual benefit to having journalists like you as well? That's not something I've ever really considered. I do the press conferences myself just because I don't want someone else to do them for me. That's the only reason. So it looks like we've got an international break after this game. Yeah, so we've got a 2 week break, and then we're going to the League Cup semi-final. So a semi-final this early in the season seems bonkers to me, but I've noticed whenever I've watched Soccer Saturday, Scottish refs half time is 45 minutes after the start of the first half. Full time is 45 minutes after the start of the second half. There's no messing about in Scotland. When they've decided the game's over, everyone's home in time for tea. It seems like they do their cup competitions the same. Just get it cracked out before Christmas, and then everyone can have a bit of a break, can't they? Okay, another injury, and this time Kevin Nisbet, who, I mean, he's not even a bit part player in this squad at the moment. He's very much a hangover from the previous management. Um, I think I did give him a couple of games towards the end of the last season, but as a striker, no goals in 26 games, 18 starts. It's never really going to get you noticed by me. And given that he plays his best role is as a poacher, not scoring goals really means you're not good enough for this level. So, albeit we did try to sell him in the summer, no one wanted to take him on, which I don't blame them for. Um, but it does mean we'll just run down his contract at the end of this season and send him packing. Okay, so we can pick a strong side. We've not got any further games after this one this week to worry about. So we'll go first choice players, I think, as long as they are fit. I mean, McGuinness has been off playing with the reserves. Who let that happen? Let's get you in there. I wonder, is Huggins available now? Yeah, okay, Huggins can come in there. So you're tired, but you're just going to have to get on with it, I'm afraid. Don't like to select too many tired players in the first 11 because you pretty much guarantee you're having to sub them off at 60 or 70 minutes. I try to only have one almost pre-planned sub when it comes to big games like this. As often you need to adapt to whatever's being thrown at you. Let's get Cammy McPherson starting. It's been a while since he had a start. Really don't have any much in the way of defenders on the bench here. That'll have to do. Need a central midfield option. We don't really have one. Okay. I don't think I can put McGuinness on the bench, and we will put Akinyemi on the bench. Similar to Nisbet, really. He hasn't really proved to be good enough at this level. Very weird situation in the summer where we tried to loan him to Crawley, but it took 3 months for him to make a decision, and then deadline day came. He hadn't made a decision, so the loan was cancelled. Not entirely sure what happened there. I wonder if it's a bug relating to the fact that I put him on the unwanted list for my director of football to get rid of. But either way, he's still around and he's now going to sit on our bench just to make up some numbers. Okay, here we are, Dundee United versus Aberdeen. I think this is another rivalry of some kind, isn't it? I'm sure that was what they told me at the start of the season in a reverse fixture. But a win here would see us. So Start the stream with a game where I have a man sent off in the first minute, and I've got a red injury 2 minutes into the game. Football Manager is really, really not happy with me at the moment. Okay, right, well, as I was saying, this could propel us up the league, get us somewhere back into those European places, and that's the start we needed. Alex Iakoviti, great header, gotta love a near post corner. Big men that you aim for, bigger than their guys, that's all you need. Simple, great stuff. Well, that's a good thing to do in a derby game, get an early goal. And you can say that jumps us up to fourth as things stand. Rangers beating Celtic in the Old Firm derby there, so getting quite tight at the top. 5 points between first and seventh, and then a massive gap from eighth to ninth, and all the way down to 12th there. Livingston on just 3 points. It's looks like they're in for a rough ride. Them and Wraith Rovers. It's going to be a difficult season for them. But at the top, it looks incredibly tight. By now, Celtic or Rangers would normally have started to open up a gap, but they're keeping us all in the hunt here. Oh, and Otterson. Again, 6-foot striker is always a good thing to have. Oh, well. We're making ourselves some chances from set pieces here. It would be nice to see something in open play. But I'll take whatever we can get. Building from the back, but quickly forward. Very much the vertical tick attack away. This. And Doherty, who's played the last couple of games at fullback now, mostly because I didn't trust the other fullbacks. Injuries have also helped me to make that decision. But this is a much better position to be in when you've got fullbacks cutting out crossfield balls like that. Oh, that was far too close for my liking. Far too close indeed. Oh, and that's a good free kick. All right, Duck. All right, Duck. Well, can't give away free kicks in the first place, but there's absolutely nothing the goalkeeper could do about that. You just have to hold your hands up and say well done, but that's very disappointing because I think we had slightly the better of the first half there. Let's see if we can go and do something better. I'm going to tell them I don't like what they've done. Giving up a goal just before half time isn't something I can give them much praise for, so let's see if we can go and do better. I'm going to encourage the team, see if we can get them smiling faces, get them out there for a second goal. Oh, we're close again from a set piece. Okay. Time for changes, I think. Iakoviti's looking tired. Never known centre-backs get quite as tired as this guy gets. Striker's not been up to much. Let's get Andrucci on. And Nicky Hadland's not really affecting the game positively back there. So let's get Remy on to see if he can do something for us. And actually, I might just swap their roles. I think I like Lussie as a box-to-box midfielder when he has to play in midfield. Well, I didn't see what happened there, but see my goalkeeper sprawled on the floor in a corner. This could be painful. We don't want to lose. Okay, it's a good clearance. And let's steal the ball off them while they're trying to create something. Well, that was a strange highlight. Oh, oh, we've crashed against the bar again. Dundee United must have some sort of record this season for woodwork hit with shots. Everything seems to rocket off the crossbar or off the post. We rarely seem to get a goal. Okay, let's get Cujo off and let's get Aguilar on. A bit more practice for him in that inside forward role. And who have I got? No, that's my last sub because Jack Vale got injured. So let's do that and hope our youngster from Colombia can do something positive for us here. Doherty stopping the cross as I asked. Definitely think he might have a future as our right wing back. Let's give them some encouragement for the last couple of minutes. Go and do some footballing. Feels like this might be one of the last chances we have to create something. I don't know why we're aiming it long. But Andrucci's done well there. Oh, that should have been it. That should have been it. He did a great thing there, getting the ball into the box, or getting past his defender and getting into the box, and then inexplicably went for a near post finish when far post looked like a much better idea. Oh, and found our player with the header again. Well, that's one we should have won. But again, we've laboured to a draw. No, I'm disappointed. I can't tell you I'm happy with that. I think we spurned numerous chances and we've just got to do better. How long do we think he's out for? Okay, probably isn't too bad. I hope it isn't too bad. Twisted ankles don't last too long, do they? 3 to 4 weeks. Longer than I'd hope, but we will get through it. Okay, so Rangers beat Celtic in the end. We've dropped down to 7th with that, but it's so competitive here. One win in, you can jump up 4 positions. It's going to be an interesting one. I think in about 10 games or so, we'll start to see the league break out a little bit. And hopefully, we can be part of that group that breaks away towards the top. Okay, we're an hour in, so we're going to take a really quick break, and we'll be right back. And we're back. Okay, let's continue the ride, shall we? So, I've got an international break to skip through. Let's start considering what we do in the January window. So, I think my priorities are still fullbacks on either side. But I am wondering whether a striker is in need. We've only got 8 goals in 13 isn't that bad a return. 8 games in 9 league games. Maybe I'm overreacting. I think I just like a striker. That's my big problem. Damn your lies. Scouts have found this man who could potentially very much boss our central midfield. Looks to be a bit of a bargain at £1.2 million from Venezia. Minimum fee release clause though, so that would probably require an upfront payment, and that is every drop of our transfer budget. We'll see what we can do when the transfer window rolls around, if I haven't found my perfect fullbacks by then. Although Doherty seemed to make a good show of it in the last couple of games, so may well be playing himself into first choice contention there. He looks like a ball winning midfielder to me, but what do I know? Not even an option. Not even in his top 3. Mazzala. Central midfielder. Carolero. I'm not even sure what a Carolero does. What on earth is a Carolero? Okay, so he's a lazy box-to-box midfielder. That's what a Carolero is. That's fine. So if we're not calling him a Carolero, we're going to call him a fullback because he's played a couple of good games there in the last couple. So let's continue with that. Do wonder whether we still need. I mean, Framer's done quite well at left back. Maybe I just need to change my starting fullbacks. I've been rather addicted to having Niall Huggins on the right and our boy, where are you? Sean Ruffin on the left. But maybe that's been wrong. When Sean Ruffin is our vice captain, Ross Graham is our captain, but maybe, just maybe, he's not up to it. His performances last season were fantastic, but so far this season he seems to have really struggled. Huggins, don't think really did it last season and has struggled even more this season. Maybe it's just Huggins who's not the right one. Maybe he doesn't want to be the right back. Maybe left back is his strength. He's 2-footed, so kind of feel like he should be able to adapt to either of them. But if left back is his preferred position, unfortunately he's well behind in the pecking order at the moment. Let's see, we're still getting news from Gillingham because they are understandably selected as my favourite club, as they are my favourite club in real life. I'm a season ticket holder there, so that's where you'll find me every other Saturday down at Priestfield, where things are looking a lot better in 2023 than they did in 2022. And 2021 for that matter. Suffered relegation last season, going down on the final day of the season. And this year, at 1 point, 14 points from 23 games, and 6 points adrift from safety at the bottom end of League Two. We've managed to turn it around just, I say just, it's been an absolutely stonking performance from us. I think second highest tally of points in League Two this calendar year, so since January, and I don't think we could be asking for much more at all. Hopefully, we continue this form on to next season and find ourselves challenging for promotion. That would be something I've not seen in about a decade for the Gills since we won League Two in this season 10 years ago, 12-13. Well, this isn't quite the music we want, is it? Let's see if we can upgrade a little bit here. Something a smidge more upbeat. Well, League Cup semi-final coming up next. Hibernian, who will provide a stern challenge. Actually, I'm not sure who's on the other side of that draw, but I've no doubt it will be at least one of the big two. It'll be Celtic or it'll be Rangers there. We'll do the usual training praise for every person or all three of the people, as long as they're over a rating of 8. Anything less than that, and there's always the risk they'll tell you you're crazy for thinking they've done okay. I think, yeah, we got beaten heavily by Hibernian first time we played them this season, so it won't be an easy game at all, but it would be nice to get into a final nice and early in the season. And if we can pick up our first trophy well before the end of the season, knowing European football is European football secured with this? I'd like to think so, but it would be nice to have a trophy in the bag that early on in the season. I do like the reminder that I'm not good enough to have many internationals. Okay, the necessities are done. Hampton Park awaits. And then following that, we've got Karabag in the Europa Conference League, and then Celtic. So 3 big games, all close together there. A big journey over to Azerbaijan, it Azerbaijan that Karabag are from? I'm sure it is. But that's a big old journey away just to come back and then play Celtic at home. Azerbaijan. If it wasn't for Football Manager, I don't think I'd know anything about the country itself. All I know is they made a bit of money with oil and had Tony Adams managing a team over there for some time. May even have been Karabag. But that's about the extent of it. Without Football Manager, I'm not sure I'd know that Azerbaijan existed as a country. So Football Manager, good for geography. Training facilities have been upgraded. They are now great. Let's see if that helps to get some of our players to reach their full potential. Okay, so we do need to think about the upcoming games. So we can't go off hell for leather in this one. But we do want to reach a cup final, don't we? What does my assistant think? He says change everyone. To be fair, I think I mostly agree with them. I'm not sure about Otterson. I'm going to leave him in. I am going to introduce a few of the changes he suggests. There's Lumeka. There you are. We'll get Aguilar on. Definitely deserves a few more attempts at playing here. When Aguilar joined us, he was solely left-sided, but he looked like exactly the player I wanted, cutting in from the right wing as an inside forward, and he now looks accomplished at it, which is fantastic. That's exactly what I wanted. So let's see if he can do that job for us. Do you know, I'm going to give Huggins one more run out at left back. I feel like he's earned a chance to get some redemption, and Mitchell Frome can start in Europe, where I know that he has got the ability to lock down that left back position, and we definitely want Carl McGuinness in there. Do we want him starting? I think we do. He had a great impact in his first game back in the league. Yeah, we've got. Yeah, you're still injured. Okay. Yeah, he had a great impact back in his first game back. Goal within 12 minutes. Exactly what we've missed from attacking midfield. Now, attacking midfielders at the moment aren't really scoring many goals. So it's nice to have someone back who has that dimension to their game. I think he can play as a shadow striker quite comfortably. So definitely someone you want there when you're after goals. Okay, League Cup semi-final. We won the Scottish Cup last season, so my players should be quite comfortable with the occasion, able to deal with the expectation. Are we seeing another red card this early? Oh, Football Manager. Well, that is not what was planned. I think we're going to have to sacrifice McGuinness. There's no one on the pitch who can play there, Graham, but I've got no one who can cover at centre back. Anyone who can cover at right back? No. Okay, well, let's sacrifice McGuinness and get Mitchell Frame on. He can provide our width on the left-hand side. That is an incredibly disappointing start to this semi-final. And for the second time so far tonight, we've lost a player in a very short space of time to a red card. I am now beginning to think there is absolutely a Scottish FA conspiracy against Dundee United. We obviously upset them by winning the Scottish Cup. We upset them by taking a trophy off of the big two, and for that we must be punished. And be punished we have been. Conceding from a free kick just wide on the right there. Our defenders really didn't seem to get ourselves into position, leaving a free man over here, too late to get out, and then being marked by two men, Humphreys still has a free header. Terrible defending at the set piece there. We are probably ending our League Cup journey tonight. That is a shame. Oh, Lameka now has the ball in the box. Can he find someone in an orange shirt? Oh, dear me. Similar situation to Hibbs' goal at the other end. We've got a man marked up on the 6-yard line, and he can't find the back of the net, unlike the Hibbs players. Okay, we need to do better, lads. We need to do much, much better. And as I've said, Jordan Doherty pretty much got that right back position tied up. He's having a terrible game. Okay, what have we got? Can we steal a goal and perhaps drag this through to penalties? I'm not sure if there is replays in the semi-final of the Scottish League Cup, but I don't think that's a question we're going to find out the answer to either. That's 2-0 to Hibs, and I feel like this one's over. So let's start thinking about Thursday's game. Let's get Otterson off. Let's give Lussie a run out there. Aguilar just hasn't done it today, so let's get Cujo on, and we won't get Doherty off because we've got no one to replace him, and Hadlin can come off and Hall can start his return from injury. And that's 3. Well, we took a thumping from them earlier in the season. The referee has ensured we're taking another thumping from them in the cup semi-final, and I'm a very sad man now. Very sad indeed. I'll try and give them some encouragement, even though what I want to do is just tell them all to roll around and pretend they're injured, and we'll just forfeit the game and go home, and it's a 4. Now, defending at set pieces has been atrocious in this game. I do need to now double check we actually do have something set up. When did that happen? Oh, Adam. You've made an absolute fool of yourself here. Well, I don't know when that happened, when that transition of my formation, the change to player positions happened, but doesn't matter. We're 4-0 down. I don't think it was going to impact that greatly. And looking at the way they're setting up, that's not okay. Let's move on. Oh, it's going to be 5, isn't it? And of course, it's a penalty. Scottish FA, thank you very much. Well, VAR has actually done something right. You heard it here, folks. Heard it here first, folks. The VAR has got something right. It's far too late. That should have been right for the red card. That never was a red card. Oh, that felt like a dangerous challenge to make when we're already a man down. And I think Lussie did look offside there to me. Yeah, just back to your starting positions, guys. This will be a free kick. Let's carry on. Let's make a couple more subs, shall we? Just to save people for Thursday's game. Necker probably is one of those players I want to start. Doherty's having a shocker out there. But let's get Ross Graham off. He can. Oh no, we've made our 5 subs. That'll do. That'll do. Let's get Andrucci on, see if he can have some impact on the game. But otherwise, I think we just close our eyes and pretend this one didn't happen. We'll just bop along to the music. Well, it's very nearly Saturday, and I hope everyone's had a chance to make good plans for the weekend. If you're an Arsenal fan, I'm sorry, not a good night for you guys. Struggling to a 3-3 draw against a team bottom of the league, just when you think you've got a chance to turn around these last-minute draws, these string of draws. 2 games where you give up two 2-0 leads, and then to come to a home game against Southampton, bottom of the league, you've got to be going into that game thinking a win is possible here. And well, still not over though. If you're an Arsenal fan, it is not over. Imagine the story. Imagine the story when you go and beat Man City. Stretch your legs, stretch that lead against them. That's going to be worth it. It will be worth it. It was an appalling result. Well, that's the end of that. We won't be winning the League Cup this year. We didn't win the League Cup last year. It was a Scottish Cup. We won't appeal against that. I don't think you deserve that. How many games has it been for Otterson now? I feel like I saw him score quite recently. I mean, it's 4 games. It's not. That was an assist. It's been a few games. I mean, he had a cracking start, and then the last 7 he's not scored. Maybe something needs to change. Let's see if he can turn it around. I mean, unless another one. I'm not expecting him to score, so I'm just going to say don't worry. Okay, press conference time. Let's see. Do I have a chance to point a finger? Okay, yeah, look, see, I love a pointed finger. Give them a point and tell them something, and they're very happy. One other point. There we go. Oh, look at this. They love me. Eating out of my hand now. Huggins sent off, yeah. Of course, it changed the game. Sent off in the first, 10 minutes? Absolutely shocking. I don't know who this man is. Does he score lots against me? Apparently. I don't want to talk about him though. Who's Adam Berry? What did you do? Yeah, sure, you did great. There's no pointing, so I'll smile and say I don't want to talk about him. I had help from VAR, did I? Someone needs to show me where that help was. Or just point and say nothing. Nothing of consequence anyway. So something I will look to do is set up a chat command so that you can see the history of the save so far. But for anyone who has joined me who hasn't got a clue what I'm doing, I am currently managing Dundee United. We started off as the manager, we started off unemployed, no coaching badges, um, no reputation for football whatsoever, and we ended up starting our journey at Angered BK in the Swedish second division south. I think it is Gottrasora or something like that, where we saved them from relegation one season and then won the league and promotion the next season. We finished ninth in our first season in Division 1 South, where um, a team called Osters IF snapped me up in the same division, but most importantly, they had a much better transfer budget, a much better wage. Well, they didn't have much transfer budget, but they had a much better wage budget. That enabled us to win the Division 1 South, and then in next season win the Superettan. So back-to-back promotions into the Swedish top tier. And from there, we finished third. Got them qualified for Europe. But after doing so, Dundee United snapped me up, and I was all too willing to move. I think my weekly wage went from something like £1,000 a week to 3.7k a week, as I'm on now. 3.9, sorry, I must have negotiated it. And that's obviously a draw for anyone. The wage budget was also something like 3 or 4 times the size of what I was being offered at Osters. So it felt like a no-brainer to get into a club on the winter football schedule, and with a bit of potential for growth. And we will stay at Dundee until we get offered a bigger job. We currently have leagues loaded from many of the bigger nations: Spain, Portugal, Holland, Italy, Germany, France, and England, as well as Belgium over there. And almost any of those would provide opportunities. I'm looking to avoid England only because I most frequently manage in England, and unless it's one of the big four, or big six, I suppose you'd say these days. But unless it's one of the bigger teams who are challenging for the title in the Premier League, I'm going to look to ply my trade outside of England, um, just because it will be something a little bit different for me and something a bit fun. This is also only my second stream for Football Manager, so I'm not experienced with it. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Tell me what I should do better. Do feel free to come and say hello and introduce yourself. I'm here just because I've got not much better to do, and I thought I'd see if anyone wants to have a chat while we play, and perhaps see if we can take this save somewhere fun. And on that note, we are going in to a Karabag European battle. Nice to see that the fans are behind us again. So, as I said earlier, this is I've got 3 European games left in the Conference League, and I'm targeting Karabag and the New Saints from Wales as the 2 that I should win. The away game against Newcastle, I've pretty much written off already. Okay, let's see what we can do. Who have Man City got tomorrow? Are they playing tomorrow or Sunday? Let's have a look. Oh, they're postponed. Oh, it means Arsenal will stay top of the league for a little bit longer, won't it? It does make Wednesday's game huge. Absolutely huge. That's going to be it's pretty much the title decider there, isn't it? Up there at the City Stadium or whatever they call it now. That's got to say, rooting rooting for Arsenal on this one. Two reasons behind that. Got a friend who's an Arsenal season ticket holder, and he will be miserable as sin if they manage to throw this away. Are you much of a right back? You could be. You're well outside my price range. I think we'll just say thank you to the scouts and move on. Yeah, so miserable as sin if they've managed to throw away this lead that they've had for quite some time. And uh, the sad thing is, all season he's told me we're not winning the league, we're not winning the league, up until a few weeks ago when he said to me, I'm really starting to believe. And they followed that up with throwing away a two goal lead against Liverpool, 2 goal lead against West Ham, and very nearly losing to Southampton tonight. But as a Gillingham fan, I also can't stand Man City. Ever since they beat us in the 98-99 Division 1 playoff final, uh, ourselves throwing away a 2 goal lead there as well. So, rooting for Arsenal, really want to see them do it. I also like the idea that little duopoly that Liverpool and Man City have at the moment or did have in the Premier League is broken. One of my favourite seasons ever in the Premier League was watching Leicester go and take the Premier League title. That was something, wasn't it? It's one of those things that you looked at thinking, this is a fluke. There's absolutely no way this can happen. There is no way they can do it. They won't keep it up. And everyone said that pretty much until Jamie Vardy was lifting the title. Incredible stuff to say. And I don't know when we're going to see something of its ilk again. Maybe Brighton. Are Brighton the team to do that in the next few years? What they've built there is quite impressive. Okay, we are going to. I think we're going to change things about a bit. We're going to play with a couple of wide men here. We're going to have Quigler as. Are you? No. Let's have you as an inside forward. It's where I prefer seeing you. We'll have Kujo as an inverted wing on the other side, and we'll get Sashua through the middle. I don't know how McGuinness is doing. Oh, he's injured again. Missed that. Okay, and Andrucci can start up front today because Otterson just hasn't done it for us so far. Had a cracking start to the season, and it's rather fallen apart for him. Right, you're going on the bench just to make up numbers there, my man. As are you, Mr. Nisbet. Actually, I'm just going to move you to the bottom there. Really, you're there to make up numbers. If I have to put any of you on, then I've probably made all 5 subs already, and you won't be allowed on the pitch. You can just go there because I don't want too empty a bench. No realistic chance of any of them getting on the pitch. Okay, can we do something here, please? Actually, much better. That's what we have to do, yeah. And Drucci has moved about roles a bit. I think he's played as a winger, inverted winger on the left, a winger on the right, and a striker all just tonight. Still haven't quite settled on a first team yet. Part of that is because I do have to rotate with the games coming thick and fast as they are, but also whenever we seem to hit a patch of decent form or have a decent game or two, the next game after will destroy us, as the Hibs one has. So let's see what we can do. We've got a bit of a different setup. Doherty's dropped out of the right back position. Huggins is starting, even though he was the one who got sent off in the last game, and mostly because I feel he's got a better chance of redemption than Doherty after that last match. Okay, let's see what we can do. Aguilar, who's our 18-year-old from Colombia, bought him. He only played in the left wing position, but we turned him into an inside forward, and he has scored a few goals from that position so far this season. And I thought I think Huggins has made a bit of a mockery of my decision there. He was nowhere near his man at all in any of that. That's concerning. Okay, let's give these boys some encouragement. Encourage. Definitely getting some shots in, but they're not good shots. 0.67 xg and just the one just the one highlight so far doesn't scream we are dominating, does it? Okay, Hadland steals the ball but gives it away with a long thump forward, and Aguilar goes in with a red card tackle but somehow gets away with it. Definitely got an aggression problem at Dundee United. We've had quite a lot of red cards already this season. We get them early in the game as well. That's a cracking ball through for Shashua. Shashua! Oh, that's calmed a couple of my nerves. That's just what we needed. A great through ball there from Aguilar. Steals the ball, plays a 1-2 with Huggins there. Sees the run from Shashua, who's miles clear, and just slides it in at the near post. That is a good goal. That's the kind of style I want to see us playing. Okay, I am happy, but I think we can do more. Let's see how we go. Now, what are we looking like in the league table? So we're up to 20th. 20th gets us through to the knockout stages, which is the minimum aim for us this season. Oh, and Andrucci, he gets a second bite of the cherry. Well, I wasn't expecting that so quickly. There I wasn't even paying attention. So McLennan, Hadland, it's a ball over the top. Andrucci runs on. Not bad, not bad, and it's good follow-up. Striker's instinct that just to keep running into the right position. Perhaps he will get another start up front after this. Cujo back to Graham. That's nice. That I like that overlap on the left wing. That's a good ball. Andrucci's hit the bar post and the follow-up again. He has missed a follow-up. Well, this is just the salve I needed after that Hibs game. Getting thumped 4-0 doesn't feel good, but going to another team's ground and winning or going 3-0 up, that does feel good. That makes me feel an awful lot better. Okay, time for a few subs. Let's get Lussie a game in midfield again. McLennan can come off because he is only 18 and isn't really ready for quite as much football as I want to throw at him. So we'll keep giving him starts, but change him out for Iacoviti when we need to. Andrucci, that's a lovely ball through for Aguilar, and that's an absolutely horrendous shot from there. Oh, the keeper saved it. I didn't realise that was a save. Take that back. It wasn't that bad. It was a good save. I keep finding Graham's head, but he's not just not finishing them at the moment. Okay, let's get Mitchell frame off, and we'll put Huggins over on that left-hand side. We've got one more stoppage after this, so we'll just hold on to those last two subs, shall we? That's a good ball, and that's the hat trick. Andrucci is definitely starting as our striker for the next few games. When you're in goal scoring form like that, you have to try to take advantage. Otterson will either sit these out on the bench or he will start potentially on the right wing because he's another left footer who can cut inside like Aguilar. and he may be just what we need out there. Aguila has had a good game. He has one assist to his name, and he nearly had a goal as well. Some good individual skill there. Some good football, patiently passing it around. And then, the quick football, moving defenders out of place. This is all set up for us to lose the ball, isn't it? Well, if there's a Dundee United fan anywhere, do come and tell me whether this is how you expect Dundee United to play, because that was exquisite. And Drucci gets his fourth goal of the game after we pass Karabag off the pitch. Pass after pass after pass. And then a fantastic through ball again from Aguila. He's something special, that lad. Right, and Drucci's staying on so he can see if he can break some records. We'll get Lumeka on. Actually, let's get Otterson on. This might be the time for him to break his duck. And we are going to make one last change. I think Kujo's been a little bit quiet, so we'll get Lumeka on that side. Well, that's just what we needed after a 4-0 thumping in the League Cup semi-final, a nice 5-0 away win in Europe. That makes us a lot happier. And Andrucci just bossed that game. Everything that came through to him, he finished. Even if he needed two attempts, he still found a way, and he's going to get very special praise. How's that done us in the league? Up to 17th. We've got 2 more games to come. One away against Newcastle and another at home to TNS. Do feel like the TNS game, being the last game, could be huge. I feel like our qualification could be on the line at that stage. It was absolutely fantastic. Teams already securing their spaces. Makes me sad. One day we'll be one of them. Sad to see Aberdeen top of the league, though. That can't be right. Yeah, Andrucci definitely better than Mbappe there. Now a big game at home to Celtic. Right, let's give the first teamers a rest for a couple of days. Only because some of them I will want to start. And this is why I do that. I love this headline. I prefer Andrucci to Mbappe. Of course, everyone does. Leeds fans know. They know that Andrucci is going to be the one. Times I think about you. So someone's pushing for a starting place there. Frederick Otterson, 10 out of 10 in training. Obviously listening to me say, he's seen Andrucci's performance on the pitch and he knows he's got to do something special. But the 10 out of 10 on the training ground does not equal the 10 out of 10 that Andrucci got on the pitch. So I'm afraid he is still going to have to make do with either a bench or a right wing start. Well, I've missed it, but happy Saturday, everyone. I hope you've all enjoyed your Friday night so far. Perhaps you're just making it in from the pub. Hopefully, you're not just making it in from work, but if you are, hello. Come tell me about it. How was your day? How was your week? Yeah, Mitchell's excited. Of course he is. Oh, Canamundo just destroyed us last time. We played at their patch in the league. What did he do last time? Let's point a finger. Yeah, look, see, they love it. They love it. You fail fit. No. Yeah, patient. We have to be patient because that's what I'm known for, being patient. Yeah, let's not big up Otterson when we're likely not to start him against Celtic, mostly because he's just not found the net for 7 games, and he's just watched Andrucci, who is second choice striker, go in and score 4 goals. Potentially, I could have started Otterson, and it may have been Otterson getting them, but on the flip side, Otterson might not have scored any at all. So let's strike while the iron is hot. Let's get Otterson. Let's get Andrucci another game. He can start up front against Celtic. I'm not expecting too much from it, but if we can just get a couple of goals, then I'll be happy. What have we been given money for? Forest Green are giving us money. I wonder if we'll ever see that in Football Manager. Will we have dietary status? Will we know whether players are vegan and thus suitable for Forest Green or not? Be interesting to find out, wouldn't it? Would that make any difference to how you pick your players? Gosh, we'll have politics next. You can pick your left wingers and your right wingers just to make sure everything lines up properly. Okay, so big match to come. Down to one choice at right back. Let's hope he's put the Hibs game behind him. McLennan, you're only young. Do you have? Yeah, you're not consistent, but are you a big match kind of man? You're not a big match man. No, I'm going to go with Iakoviti. Just got a older head on his shoulders, wiser head, doesn't enjoy the big matches. No, it is McLennan after all. We knew that all along. And then Mitch Frame, that's it. They're my defenders. That's who I've got available. Okay. So even former side, I probably do need to look at cover back there. Although we do have 2 injuries and a suspension from 3 fullbacks. I think I'm overthinking this. If a good one turns up in the scout report, then we'll buy him. If not, we just go with what we've got. I don't think we're desperate for one. Right, George is tired, but he can start. Let's give Utterson a chance out on the right wing. Okay. That looks like the right starting lineup, doesn't it? Yeah, we'll go with that. Okay, let's get our bench together. Savinac VT, you're the defender. You are going to have to be on the bench. How far away are you? 4 days. Okay, you can be a desperation sub if needed at the back. Youngster and this lad. Okay, good luck out there tonight, boys. Okay. The time for talking is over. Let's go and do it on the pitch. Well, we've dominated possession in the opening stages. Celtic are playing a 4-4-2, so I expect they're probably playing a fairly direct brand of football. So far, it's not getting through our lines, but here we go with the first highlight. Calimundo's been an absolute pain in my backside. Oh, and he nearly was again. Will happily take a draw in this match. No, we're not up to their level just yet. Celtic's by far the strongest team in the league. Rangers, I think, a healthy distance behind them, and we are much, much further back. I think in the season preview, we're predicted sixth, so we're very much middle table fodder in this league. We've overperformed last season, and that's an incredibly close. Oh, hits the bar. Another shot hits the woodwork for Dundee United, and that's exactly what I've seen for a long time now. So we are looking. Oh no! Thank goodness for that. So I'm looking to do a 2-hour stream tonight, so I'll be on for perhaps another 20 minutes or so. I think we've hit 2 hours already. Might get another game or two, and well, let's see how the night takes us. Free kick chance for Otterson. This would be a great way to break your goal drought. Oh, and it's close. It's very close. Was that the bar or was that the goalkeeper? Either way, it was a very, very tough shooting. Hadland's taken a knock. That's not brilliant. Let's get Lussey run out, and McPherson can come in there. And Drucci not setting the world on fire in this one. Maybe he's a small team bully. Scores goals against the small teams, but can't quite do it when the big teams roll in. We've handled ourselves quite well in this match so far. Right, time for changes. Let's get Aguilar on. Let's get Aguilar on there, and let's do this. Let's get our inverted wingers in place. Let's get Otterson back up front. Does look like he prefers the inside forwards or an inverted winger role out on that right wing. Wonder if that's where I've been going wrong with Otterson. Let's give them some encouragement for the last 5 minutes. They could pull off something spectacular here. And one last change at the back. I know Akaviti doesn't like the big games, but there is a yellow card that's worth taking him off for. Can we do something in the last minute of the game here? Shashua. That's a great ball into Aguilar. And is he offside? If that counts, that could be huge for our season. It's awarded. That's massive, right? We are going to play some shithouse football now. Let's just try and waste as much time as possible. That's massive. Celtic by far the best team in the league, at least based on that season preview. And a 1-0 win at home is going to be massive for us. No expectation of this as well. And could we wrap it up with a second here? Lussey stealing the ball, but not quite able to apply the finish. Well, that wasn't too bad. Not too bad at all. Yeah, bit of praise for you guys. Well deserved it was too. So, how's your Friday night, your Saturday morning now, I guess, treating you? Welcome. Do feel free to come and say hi. I'm a newbie streamer. This is just my second stream. So, I know absolutely nothing about streaming. Come and tell me what I'm doing wrong. Tell me what I'm doing wrong about Football Manager. I'm absolutely certain I'm doing things wrong, despite the fact I've been playing this game for over 20 years now in various formats. Still not really got around to figuring out how to do it well. But we're doing okay at the moment. We'll just click through stuff. Yeah, we do stuff the way we like to do stuff, etc., etc. If I could trust my assistant manager not to say stupid things, he could do all of these. Okay. Scottish Cup. We are the defending champions, holders Dundee United. We did win that last season pretty much out of nowhere, but in Scotland, it seems that a Premiership side only has to win about 5 games to, it's even less than that, 4 games, I think, to win a cup. So, um, fairly easy run through as well. I think we only faced the Premiership side in the final. Everything else was Championship or lower. So it's still a trophy. It's still a cup. We get to celebrate that, and celebrate we did. The bigger prize from that really was the Europa League playoff qualification. It meant that we could bypass a couple of qualifying rounds in the Europa Conference after our fourth place finish. We did lose the playoff, but that even losing that meant we were in the Conference League group stages, where we're doing okay. We've had some tricky games so far. 2 big wins against Karabag and Dynamo Tbilisi, and some tight losses to Vitesse and Rio Ave. So we've got Newcastle in the Conference League next, away at St James's Park. I'm not expecting a great deal from that. Hi, Joel. Hi, how are you doing? So I'm very new to all of this, and welcome. How's your Friday night going? How's your week been? Must be keen for another performance like Celtic. Of course we are. We beat Celtic at home. That's always a good thing to repeat. Yeah, probably will get some reserve time. And maybe Jack Vale can make it back, but after the last 2 games, I'm not sure I want to change the team too much. Asking me whether it's a must-win match this early in the season, rather pointless. So this is the state of play so far. 14 games in, we're actually fourth place. We're only a few points off Hibs at the top, and our win against Celtic has contributed to them falling off the top spot. I can't think of a better opportunity really for us to try and get ourselves into contention for a league title. I don't think we're quite ready to be that big club just yet, but if we can steal a win here and there against the bigger teams, who knows? Well, ground hopping in Sweden. I don't suppose you went to see Angered BK or Osters IF, did you? So this is a safe. I've been playing privately for a while, but they were my first 2 teams. Started unemployed, got Angered BK in the second division of Sweden, got them promoted, got us all the way to the Allsvenskan when Dundee United came knocking for me. Who did you go and see? Okay, let's trigger extensions. Let's get you. Yeah, I'm not going to do you just yet. Do you know, actually, I will offer you a contract. You've been quite key so far this season. What are you currently on? Oh, that's a big pay rise you're asking for. Let's see if we can negotiate that down a little bit. Go on then, let's play. Okay, I'll accept that. She took in 2 games, big games as well. IOK and Malmo. They're massive games. How were they? Were the results? And why Sweden? Was that just was that a holiday that you just decided to take in a couple of games, or did you go there specifically for them? You didn't have time to squeeze in lower leagues. Understandable. I think when you're travelling abroad, you probably want to take in the best that the country has to offer. In England, obviously, that is Gillingham at Priestfield. Lower league for now, but we are the sleeping giant, according to our chairman. Say the sleeping giant, a sleeping giant. I think there are probably others. Now that's a worry. First choice defenders there, looking a bit tired. Right. Bit of a defensive injury crisis we're in at the moment. Let's give Lussie a start. I think there we're going to need legs because we've still got games coming thick and fast, including that away game against Newcastle. We really have to. I might even play a reserve team now. I might just say that's a free hit. Derby games, there's nothing quite like it. Sadly, being a Gillingham fan, we don't have proper derbies, so I don't think it's something I'll ever likely experience. But you just have to watch on television any of the big derbies in any country really, and you kind of feel the atmosphere. But being there in the stadium, I bet that was something incredible. I do occasionally watch people doing match day vlogs. You're probably aware of Lelujo, but he did one from Sweden, didn't he? Servette versus Young Boys, and he said the Young Boys fans just they sang the whole time, the full 90 minutes. They lost the game, but they continued singing all the way through, and it's that sort of thing that you live for in football, don't you? It's there's nothing quite like a derby match. And Gothenburg, one of the worst teams you've seen live. I mean, who's the worst? Who is the if you could pick one team as the worst team you've seen live, who is it? And it sounds awful to say, but for me, it would be my own side. Up until the start of this year, we were without a doubt the worst side I've ever seen. Hi, Nightbot. Right, let's get whoever we can call a defender on our bench. Do I need 2 central midfielders? McGuinness can cover there, I think. Congreve coming back might be quite helpful. Cujo. Go on, we'll have Hadland as well. Definitely starting to feel the pinch of injuries with all of this run of matches we're having. So, how many countries, Joel, have you seen games in? I mean, going to Sweden is it's dedication for ground hopping. That is. I can understand people going for the big ones: Barcelona, PSG, going over to Italy to see Roma, Juventus, Inter, Lazio, those sorts of teams. Teams we've all grown up with. Sweden, it's probably not on many people's bucket list. Is this is this just a hobby for you? And I'm very well, thank you. I'm doing well. Glad that it's Friday. Glad that we've got a weekend off. I'm quite glad uh, that weather is slightly warmer. Very wet today, but we're getting there. It almost feels like summer is just round the corner, doesn't it? Hello, Yorkshire Rimmer. Have you been at the pub by any chance? Yeah, let's include England. Jordan Rimmer, thank you for the follow. I'm really sorry I didn't notice that come up on my OBS there. I'm not quite sure why. I think I probably forgot to turn on notifications. So thank you both for the follow. Seven is real dedication. That's a lot of countries to go and see football in. Did you see Croatia? I'm not sure I can name many teams from Croatia. Now, what are the chances of that? You're from Croatia. We've got we've got a ground hopper here who's been there. Any chance you've both been to see the same game? That would be quite something. And we are 2-0 up away to Hearts. This is turning into a fairly decent session for us so far. Oh, that's a frustrating goal to concede. I'm not even entirely sure what happened. That's an own goal. Oh, it's just a deflection. Well, we've lost that first half. Like to have that 2-goal lead back, but let's reflect on the good. Let's see if we can do that for another 45 minutes. So you'll have to forgive my ignorance about Croatian football. Is that the biggest rivalry in Croatia then? Hajduk and Dinamo Zagreb. And for you, Joel, in terms of atmosphere, which is the best game you've been to? I've a limited experience myself. Being a Gillingham fan, I watch Gillingham games. I've been to a couple of Arsenal games at the thanks to my Arsenal season ticket holder friend, but I think I've only ever seen them in the League Cup, and I have to say there's not much atmosphere for those. I was at the second leg of the Arsenal Liverpool Carabao Cup semi-final last season, and there was nothing. They lost 2-0, and it was just a dull affair in the end. Let's make a couple of changes out here. Got some tired legs at the back. We've got tired legs all over the field. Let's see if we can freshen them up. Oh, we've we've got away with one there. I'm not one for seeing out games. I haven't yet worked out how to see out a game in Football Manager. Let's just say Football Manager full stop. It's not just 23, it's every version. All I've got, my only go-to tactic is around about now I start wasting as much time as possible. I freshen up the side, I get a few players on, get some fresh legs in, and then waste time. Oh, oh, that would have finished off the game. Okay, I think we're going to have to try and take time out of the game now. Yeah, let's not go getting any more red cards tonight. I think 3 is enough. That's a nice result if we can hang on third place. So you were both there at the same game. I love that. That's a great coincidence. Let's give you a praise for your goal there. Got to keep you sweet. try not to say too much about referees. I've already been warned by the FA. Referees are my go-to scapegoat. That's the word I'm looking for. Go-to scapegoat whenever games go wrong. It's never my tactics. Obviously, my tactics and my team selection is impeccable. The referee just doesn't like me. Okay, let's play this Dundee derby, shall we? And then I think we're going to call him then for the stream. It is nearly 1 a.m. Well past my bedtime. I'm too old for late nights. Ding dong Dundee derby. I love it. I better praise Aguila for that. We've got some good trainers going on here. Well done. Well done, lads. Coffee's on me for tomorrow's training session. So is membership similar to sort of the concept of season ticket holder? Is a season ticket holder say similar thing? I'm a lower league fan in England. For us, you hold a season ticket or you come to casual games, but sorry, rather come to games casually. But we don't really have members as such. Okay, so it's fairly straightforward concept. I know, I'm sure there are clubs in England with something similar where you can build up credits for away games and things like that. I support a club that's small enough that we don't have to worry about that. The only match we managed to sell out this season was in February when the new owner decided to do a pay what you can pricing for one game. We did sell out the ground, but there were quite a few seats empty because I think a number of people tried to buy tickets cheaply and then tout them, forgetting that Gillingham isn't particularly fashionable as a club. And the demand for tickets just isn't that high. Yeah, it's an income stream, isn't it? Even for people who maybe can't get to games that often, but it's a way of being able to support your club. Okay, let's fly into this derby. So I think we'll finish off tonight with the Dundee derby, and then we'll come back next time for the Newcastle Conference League game. That's probably going to be a heavy defeat. I'm not one for defensive tactics. I'll just go and play positive and see if we can impose ourselves on Newcastle. But I do tend to see some big losses as a result of that kind of approach to games. But occasionally you do get some good wins. So I will persist. Yeah, I've a lot of sympathy for clubs nearly going bankrupt. I've seen it twice in my lifetime at Gillingham alone. it's it's a terrible situation. Unfortunately, I do think things like the Premier League in England don't help, where money is spent in silly quantities, hundreds of £1 million for players, and the sort of sponsorship money that gets thrown around, transfer money, agent fees, wages. It really, I think, it's it destroys the game everywhere. It's not just in England. It's not just the Premier League that's impacted by it. Everyone gets impacted by the mismanagement of football finances in the search for glory. Are Hajduk in a better position now? Is it a better time, better financial footing now? I'm going to put Otterson as a shadow striker for this game. So let's make that personalisation. That's your best role there, isn't it? I'll get Shasha out on the wing. He's got a bit of pace. Might be able to put that to better use out wide rather than through the centre. And Andrucci can have another game up front. We do at least have 3 defenders we can put on the bench now. I'd like to say success, 2 cups in 2 years, is more important than money, but when you're looking at your club potentially going bankrupt, it's terrifying. It really is. Quite fortunate that we at Gillingham have had some American money come in. So Paul Scally, the previous owner, has sold most of his stake in the club to an American called Brad Gallinson, and he came in, spent money for Gillingham. So bearing in mind, for the last 5 years, I think we've only ever made 3 transfers. We actually paid a few transfer fees. By all accounts, we didn't spend more than £150,000 on players in January, but we did bring in 10 or 11 new guys. And it does make you feel an awful lot happier knowing your club is secure. But I just wish it could all be about the success, the glory on the pitch. Or not. But unfortunately, it is a business now, isn't it? So I do hope that you stay on firm footing. And hey, who knows, European Cup run? And that's what it's about, isn't it? Hajduk will never go bankrupt because the fans will always be there. Someone will pick that club up from the brink of going bankrupt, and make sure that they're still a going concern. And that's what football's about: having that passion, having that love for a concept, for a club. It's what we all do it for. Is it as bad as, say, the situation in Germany, which has become pretty much, it's a one club league, isn't it? Well, we've started this derby in scintillating fashion. 2 quick goals, and I'm feeling a lot happier about our form so far tonight. Last night's stream was questionable. It's very hit and miss. I think we won a couple, we lost a couple, we drew a couple, and I genuinely couldn't have picked a first team. But I think in amongst all of this, I'm realising I don't need a first team. I've got a decent rotation squad. Having said that, we've conceded a goal very quickly, and it's another own goal. We're scoring plenty of goals in both at both ends of the pitch. It's well, I don't know if I should be happy or not. Torcida 70 years vid. They've lost the league once since 2006. That's, yeah, the very definition. That's another red card. Wow, I think that's our fourth of the night. That's we've got anger problems in our team. We've got anger problems here. Okay, well, carry on with that. Is the gap showing any signs of narrowing? Is there a league title somewhere on the horizon for Hajduk, or do you still see a few more years of Dynamo dominance? Oh, and we're giving away goals here in Dundee. We've gone from Dundee being orange to, well, there might be a tinge of blue now. Graham's had a shocker. I mean, I know that 6.1 is partly because of the own goal he scored, but he's meant to be my go-to homegrown boy, club captain. And that big money comes from Europe, doesn't it? Champions League qualification, even if it's just the early stages, it's probably bigger money than you see without European competition. Well, 45 minutes to rescue this derby now. We're still going for it. I'm not going to drop back defensive. I think FM22, it was foolish to drop back defensive. Football Manager 23, I've not even tried. For me, get more goals than the other team. That's best you can hope for. And we're giving away opportunities like that. I think I'm going to have to take Graham off. He's just having one of those games where he can't do anything right. Let's get him off before he does any more damage. Hall is exhausted at 60 minutes, so we're going to have to do something with him. Let's get Magenis on. We've got an injury. Who's been Shashua? Okay, I think we've got Lumeka on the bench, so that's a pretty straight swap. But But we are feeling the pinch here. Suspension's building up because apparently we get a red card every other game. Injuries left, right, and centre as we plough through midweek and weekend games. We are. I'm almost hoping that we go out of Europe soon, just to give our players a rest. Of course, I'm not hoping for that really. I want big glory. Right, Huggins is nervous, so he's coming off. Let's see if we can go and steal a goal, get a win with 10 men, and then we'll do that awful time wasting thing that we do. So it's interesting to look at the European Conference League from that perspective. All I ever hear about it is how much of a waste of time it is, but it's a very Anglo-centric view, I think. You look at the likes of West Ham progressing, and I think even their fans just think it's more games that they don't want to have to see their team play. They're more worried about the Premier League than they are the Conference League. But actually, it has, yeah, if it's having a good impact throughout Europe on leagues without quite so much money flowing through them, it's a positive, isn't it? Well, we've thrown away that derby from 2-0 up inside 10 minutes, inside 5 minutes, to conceding an own goal, getting a sending off, and then pretty much giving away the second goal. It's a bit of a drab affair for us. I think we should have been a lot better, but we'll go to their patch next time and we'll take the win, I think. That's what we'll try and do. That's our revenge. There's nothing they can do about it. Yeah, we got lucky. Very disappointed. We didn't deserve that result. Well, we probably did actually. We were probably lucky to get that result in the end. Absolutely, it's much better for the smaller European teams, and yeah, you've now got clubs who and sets of fans who have the chance to see their team have glory, have success at a continental on the continental stage that without it they wouldn't have an opportunity, would they? You look back to the various winners we had of, say, the Cup Winners' Cup, for example, going back to the 90s, and what European football used to be. It wasn't as dominated by the same small group of teams as it is now. Okay, well, it has been an absolute pleasure, but I am going to call it a night there. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for chatting with me. I am planning to stream again on Sunday night, so love to see you all here, and enjoy your weekend. Take care.